Hi, everybody. Welcome to What is Next for Opendorse. I'm going to be your host. My name is Chris Allen, head of marketing at Opendorse. Just a few housekeeping items before I turn it over to our CEO, Blake Lawrence, who's itching to share with us all of some special news. Super excited to have you. We will have Q&A at the end. We'll have time reserved, but very excited to share something super special that we thought it was time for the world to know. So Blake, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'll pop back on later when Q&A comes. So Blake,
Let's do it. Thanks, Chris. Hey, thank you all for tuning in. Welcome. Excited for today's announcement. A lot of you are wondering what the heck's going on. This has been the buzz, the build, the hype up. So you made it. You're here. Let's do it. Let's jump in. And this is the type of announcement when the marketing team kind of said, "Hey, how should we do this?" We were thinking stage, mock turtleneck, Steve Jobs style, introducing the new Opendorse and what's coming. And it's 2020, right? The stages aren't available. I'm coming to you live from a cabin in the Catskills. I got the barn doors behind me, but super excited about the things that we're going to talk through today. And one of the first things, some of you are here, hopefully you're all here to hear the news, right? To hear what are we announcing, what are we talking about. But some might be here for a giveaway. I'm okay with that, right? So let's show them what's on the line here. So if you stick to the end, we'll be announcing the winner of this giveaway, right? There's going to be a Whoop band, a 1-year membership, Alexa Smart Mat, Body Boss portable home gym. Personally, I am going to try and win this if I announce my own name. Sorry, I need these things at home. I think we all need something to stay fit and shape at home. This is all right here as part of the giveaway. So stick with us towards the end. Right after Q&A, we will talk about the giveaway and announce the winner of that. But why we're all here to talk today is to talk about the evolution of the industry, the evolution of Opendorse, and I'm excited to jump right into that. So let's talk about the athlete endorsement industry today. Guys, I don't know if many of you are tracking or know this, but today more than $6 billion are spent each year on athlete endorsements across the planet. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. I think that all you guys, if you're part of the Opendorse family, you know why athletes matter, right? What athletes say, it has an incredible impact on consumer behavior, on culture, on our community, right? And we are all living in the athlete-driven era of sports, right? I'm a Kansas City kid. I'm watching the Chiefs play the Bills last night, and I want the Chiefs to win. But I also want Josh Allen to throw a couple touchdowns, right? That's the definition of the athlete-driven era of sports. We are fascinated with the individual personalities of sports. And when brands align with athletes, they can create incredible value, right? Like that's what makes an endorsement so interesting. But what also makes the industry so interesting is that while athletes provide incredible value, they, booking a deal with an athlete, endorsements in general, it can be incredibly tough, right? There's an entire process here. There's a lot of stakeholders involved, right? The athlete endorsement process is complex because there's so many stakeholders. So many people that are there to help athletes, to support them on their journey. There's agents, managers, marketing reps, publicists, advisors, lawyers, attorneys. There's their team, the league, the union. There's so many different stakeholders in an athlete's life that are there to protect them, to support them, right, to make them more accessible to others. But what that does is it creates a lot of challenges. And many of those stakeholders are currently managing $6 billion a year worth of endorsements through spreadsheets or Post-it notes, or sometimes literally a fax machine, right? And it's really interesting when you think about today's world of athlete endorsements. It's okay that it's complex now, totally okay, because on an annual basis, there's about 5,000 athletes in the U.S. that really move the needle in athlete endorsements, right? So when it's relatively small, about 5,000 athletes, it's okay if it's a little complex. But the athlete endorsement industry in the U.S. is about to go from 5,000 athletes this year to 500,000 plus next year. And the industry is going through 100 times growth spurt, 100x growth in 1 year. That's fantastic. 100 times more athletes in the endorsement industry. That's great news. But if it's 100 times more complex, that's bad news. See, complexity can kill the best deals. Complexity can make it so the best athletes, the most desirable athletes, they're out of reach, they're out of touch. brands, businesses, they'll look elsewhere because athletes are oftentimes hard to get a hold of, hard to activate. And it's not because those stakeholders want to make them hard to get a hold of. It's just simply they all want to ensure that their athletes are getting the best of their opportunities, maximizing their value. We know that. But what's also important for all of us to know is that endorsements, they must get easier, right? And otherwise, this industry won't get off the ground. Again, if it's 100 times growth, that's great. If it's 100 times more complex, that's going to be very challenging to make sure that athletes of all shapes and sizes can maximize their value. This industry needs technology. The ecosystem needs infrastructure. And when you think about any industry that's going through a shift, a major shift, it's good to look at other industries that have gone through similar shifts and figure out how did they do it? How did they get through it? Again, everyone that's tuning in here, in your life, an athlete has some impact on your value, on your career, on what you do every day, right? And so we all want to make sure that we're all set up for success as this industry goes through a major shift in 2021. So also knowing that if you're tuning into this, we talk about online endorsements all the time. Social media is where so much of endorsements live today. 100% of endorsement deals that we're involved with involve some component of social media activation. That makes sense. That's where our eyeballs are. That's where the fans are, right? So when you think about online endorsements, think about who is doing it right. Like who has mastered online endorsement and technology and making it easier. And I'll tell you who, the influencer marketing industry, right? Everyone on this call also knows somebody that's getting paid to push a product and promote it on their Instagram feed or talk about it on Twitch or stream live on YouTube, right? So if you think about the influencer marketing industry, there's no doubt that over the last decade that creators and influencers, they're starting to use technology to understand, grow, and monetize their audience. So could the athlete endorsement industry just mimic the influencer marketing industry? No, we can't. Why? Why can't we just mimic the influencer marketing industry? Why can't we just go take what they're doing and use it on our own? Well, here's why. Athletes and influencers have access to the same tools, but they don't play by the same rules. It's not an even playing field. And let's take Ninja. I got him pulled up here on the screen, for example. So Ninja, the blue-haired esports influencer. When Ninja wakes up today, hopefully he's awake by now, and he thinks about monetizing his audience, he doesn't have to worry about what his teammates or his coach thinks about his efforts to make money online, to get that next endorsement deal. He doesn't have to think, is the front office going to like if I align with the competing sponsor, right? Is this going to violate the league media rights policies? What were the group licensing agreement restrictions on this type of activation? He doesn't have to think about any of that, right? He gets free reign to use whatever tech he wants to grow and monetize his audience. There's nothing that Ninja could do that would take his Xbox away. He can't get cut. He can't lose his eligibility. But athletes, when it comes to monetizing their audience, the stakes are higher. Like an athlete can endorse the wrong thing, can do the wrong thing. They can lose their eligibility, right? They can get fined. They can get cut. You can take away an athlete's ability to do the thing that put him on the stage in the first place. And that's scary, right? And that's why there's a lot of stakeholders and people involved, because they're trying to protect athletes. Because when the stakes are higher, the wrong moves hurt more. So how can we as an industry, and how can we at Opendorse help athletes monetize their audience in the same way as everyone else, to use the same tools, but make sure they're following the rules, right? How can we bring the endorsement industry into the future? And these are questions that Audie, my business partner and co-founder, asked each other 10 years ago when we started working with athletes, right? Audie and I both played football together in Nebraska, got into the athlete endorsement industry rather quickly in 2010, 2011. And once we started to help our teammates who would head off to the pros navigate the complexities of the endorsement process, we realized that their infrastructure was needed. This ecosystem needed technology, and we envisioned a future where all the complexity was removed, right? But all the key stakeholders, those that want to help and protect athletes, they're still kept in the loop, right? And we imagined a future where all that stood between an athlete and monetizing their audience, an athlete and endorsement, was a green button. Just hit a green button. Could we build that future? Is that possible? And so in 2012, we built Opendorse. We started this company with that same premise of bringing technology to the endorsement industry to make it the complex go away, but keep all the stakeholders in the loop, to make it as simple as hitting a green button for Prince Amukamara, one of our best friends that went on to play in the NFL, to monetize his audience as simple as just a green button, one tap, that's it. Right? And this is the easiest, most trusted solution in athlete marketing for nearly a decade. And from here forward, it's only going to get easier. It's only going to get safer. We're going to help more athletes more often. And this is where it all started. But since the green button, red button print solution nearly a decade ago, we've been evolving technology and finding new ways to help athletes, helping more athletes more often, more stakeholders, more parts of the industry. So this buildup, all of this leads us to where we are today, to talk about the future, to talk about the next decade, not the past one, but the next one, to talk about the evolution of Opendorse, to introduce the new generation of Opendorse technology. That's what we're about to do right now. And I'm super, super jacked. I'm hyped because on the next slide, we're going to show, again, the future of Opendorse technology, the next generation of the endorsement management ecosystem. And with that, we're going to talk about Opendorse Social, our flagship product, which you all know, love, and trust, Opendorse Deals, and Opendorse Monitor. So at a high level, I want you to take a look at this. All right, Opendorse Social. These are the things that if you're logged in right now and you've ever used Opendorse, you jump in there, you're uploading photos, videos, sending them to athletes. They can pull and post on their own. You can have one-tap publishing, schedule things, track all the analytics all in one spot. Some of you might know this as Opendorse for Sports. Opendorse for Sports is now Opendorse Social. This is the easiest way for anyone that has a relationship with an athlete to manage the content distribution, the measurement, the analytics for social digital media campaigns. That's all running through Opendorse Social. It's what you use today. Right? At a high level, Opendorse Deals provides end-to-end endorsement management for endorsements of all types, shapes, and sizes. We're going to get into the details of Opendorse Deals here in a second. And then both of these feed into Opendorse Monitor, which gives visibility into all endorsement activity for all athletes that you happen to care about, that you have a deep concern and you want to support or ensure they're following the rules. Opendorse Monitor is there for you. So this is the next generation of Opendorse. If you hear any of us talking you talk to our accounts team, you talk to our business development team, our partnerships team, our marketing, you're going to see Opendorse Social, Opendorse Deals, and Opendorse Monitor. We don't need to talk about Opendorse Social. That's what you know and love. I want to talk about Opendorse Deals and the evolution going on there. So let's start with Opendorse Deals. Opendorse Deals is where athletes are going to monetize their audience. This is something that we've provided since the beginning, is an experience that allows entities, businesses, brands, sponsors, advertisers, agencies, the ability to partner and align with an athlete to build out an online social media endorsement campaign. So it's that experience some of you might know as Opendorse for Brands. But this experience is expanding. The evolution is coming. And one of the things that I think is critical here is you see that green button, gray button, it survives, right? Again, the complexity that goes into an endorsement deal, it's there, right? You have to keep everyone in the loop, but you have to make it easy for the athlete. Like that's the only way this works. This is how the future is going to be built, is on making it simple for athletes to monetize their audience. And Opendorse Deals is that solution. From pitch to payment, every endorsement deal, all in one place, all the information you need to know. And again, we've been doing this for dang near a decade for social media endorsements, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, branded content campaigns. Opendorse is behind the scenes helping the biggest brands on the planet, the biggest names and faces in athletes endorsements today. They're using Opendorse already to fulfill and execute social media endorsements through the platform. That is now Opendorse Deals. But the exciting thing I want to talk to you guys about today is that we're expanding beyond social, right? So Opendorse Deals will now provide athletes the opportunity to monetize their audience through all sorts of online platforms. Integrations is the name of the game for Opendorse in 2020, 2021, getting ready for the future. So no longer just Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, but TikTok, Cameo, Snapchat, Shopify, YouTube, any other platforms that athletes currently are building an audience, or any technology that's helping everyday influencers and creators monetize their audience, Opendorse will provide a gateway, an access point to help athletes use Opendorse deals to monetize their audience on those platforms, to use those tools and technology to make the most of their moment. And for the first time ever, super hyped about this. For a decade, brands, businesses, they get to know Opendorse. They get to know the simplicity, like how easy it is to find, pitch, select, and manage an endorsement deal using Opendorse. And they're doing it for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And they always ask, can we do this for offline? Can we do offline endorsements too, like appearances, autograph signings? And for years, the answer's like, no, we're only online. Not anymore. Knowing that athletes today, and especially in 2021 and beyond, need a way to manage endorsement deals offline, appearances, photo shoots, video shoots, autograph signings, all of those solutions, all of those endorsements, athletes will be able to make themselves available and manage their entire endorsement process between them and brands and fans through Opendorse deals. So super hyped about that, because it's something that all of our partners, advertisers, sponsors have been asked about for nearly a decade. And now offline endorsements, they're here. They're part of the future, and something I'm super excited to see how athletes are able to understand, grow, and monetize their audience all in one place. And that's where Opendorse Social leads into Opendorse deals, and then online and offline endorsements. Those are all part of the experience. Now we're talking about the athlete, right? The experience that the athlete has. But what about all the other stakeholders, right? The people that are involved in this process? Well, one of the things I'm most proud of is that when we built this, we knew the very first days of Opendorse, we started sitting down with agents and managers and reps and publicists, and we're partners with all the players associations, and they need to know, right? And interestingly enough, like you've always, throughout the history of Opendorse, if you're part of a deal, like if you're in the deal, you get to see all the details: who's getting paid by who, the status, the analytics, the data, the contract, the payment. You see it all if you're in the deal, right? And that's critical. So for us, all of the things we're talking about, of the experience of social media endorsements, then expanding to all online endorsements and offline endorsements, all managed, it's on the same rails that we've used to manage millions of dollars for athletes over the last decade and helping them monetize their audience. It's all there. The things that you know, love, and trust, from pitch to payment, all in one platform, one technology. We're just simply adding on different endorsement types that athletes can participate in, and that brands and fans can come to Opendorse deals, find, select, pitch, and participate in promotional activities alongside their favorite athletes. So excited for the fact that the workflows and keeping everyone in the loop is important. And again, if you're in the deal, you're always able to see all the details. But what about people that aren't part of the deal? What about associations, governing bodies, compliance departments? You're not going to be in every deal, but can you get visibility? How can you help? And that's why we're introducing Opendorse Monitor. Opendorse Monitor gives you visibility into all endorsement activity for athletes that you happen to care about, right? So if you are an organization and you have to report the endorsement activity of athletes that you manage to an association or a governing body, Opendorse Monitor allows you to do that. It also gives you visibility into the type of activities and transactions your athletes are participating in, right? So Opendorse Monitor gives you this God view of what's going on, right? Who's getting paid by who? What's the status of this? What's the status of that? Can I dive into the contract details, right? And then if you have rules, if you are at an association or you're at a conference or you're at an institution and you have rules that govern the permissibility of an endorsement or an NIL activity, within Opendorse Monitor, you're able to set the rules, right? And have a look and use technology to understand the compliance of an activity that occurs within your platform, right? And you can dive deeper into transaction details and understand who is involved with an endorsement, right? All the things that you need to protect athletes, to preserve the eligibility, to ensure that they get to play by the same rules, right? They get to use the same tools as everybody else. Like that's what Opendorse Monitor is built for, right? And this is something that I would say that all three of these are major components in our everyday life at Opendorse, right? We've done over the last decade, built a lot of these tools that we use internally, right? If you want a demo of Opendorse Monitor, call us up. Like we'll give you a preview because we'll show you what we see every day. Like we are fortunate to have visibility into who's getting paid by who to do what, where, when, and how all these deals come together because we're enabling this entire ecosystem. Like this infrastructure is there, it's built. And now we're turning the keys over to you, organizations, associations that want to be a part of it. And as we talk about the first rollout of, Opendorse Social, Deals, Monitor, I want to take a second to talk directly to the athletes. I want to talk to them about what's coming first, what's coming next. And so, again, everyone that's tuning in, obviously stay listening, but you will see a Discover tab pop up, okay, within Opendorse. And that Discover is going to give you visibility into the network of all the athletes that use Opendorse. Okay, so that's for you. But for athletes, guys, I want to talk to them directly. Opendorse Deals and this profile, this is where you are going to be able to make the most of your opportunities. This is where you're going to send brands and fans that want to partner with you. You have to give them a way for them to connect with you, understand who you are, right? Get to know your audience, your background, your story, and easily book a deal, right? To understand, okay, I would like for this athlete to post on social media. I would like for this athlete to come appear at the local bank, or I'm a fan and I want to get a video shout out from this athlete, right? I want to, where are they going to go, right? This is exactly where you send them. This is your home. This is where you're going to be able to monetize your audience. No matter where your audience is, they have to come to you and transact in a way that keeps you compliant, that makes sure you're following the rules. It's our job to protect you. It's our job to protect athletes, make sure that what you're saying and doing follows all the rules of all the people that are part of your life. But we'll handle the complexity. We'll make it really easy for you. I promise. It'll be a green button, gray button. And so we're building this for athletes so they understand they can send their audience to one place and brands and fans can connect and transact with those athletes through one compliant tool. Things that happen within Opendorse Deals are communicated directly to Opendorse Monitor in real time. So those that have access to the visibility that's provided through Opendorse Monitor will be able to see what happens within deals, right? So if you go to this page and you go and click on book a deal with Jordan Burroughs, those entities, those associations that need to know will know, right? If you care about the activity and athletes participating in, you can use Opendorse Monitor to see it in real time. Super, super excited about that. And again, this is something, when you think about where we started 10 years ago and started to envision a future where athletes would use technology to answer the questions that we started to get, which is, what is the value of my audience? How do I grow it? And how do I monetize it? To think that we've come full circle all the way back to that moment and think about the next decade ahead of us of being able to provide these tools to athletes, to the people that support athletes, the entire industry, the ecosystem. We're super excited about it. So Opendorse Social, Opendorse Deals, and Opendorse Monitor. When are they coming? Well, here's a good thing. Opendorse Social is available now. Like if you want it, you want to share photos, videos, content with athletes, you want to measure, track, understand what the heck's happening. Opendorse Social is what the biggest brands on the planet, the leagues, the teams, associations use to share content with athletes and measure the results, right? To ensure that they're compliant with media rights policies. That's Opendorse Social. It's available right now, right? Opendorse Deals, the social media endorsement side of it, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's available now. If you want to have an athlete tweet, post on Facebook, post on Instagram about your brand, call us up. I mean, go to opendorse.com. We'll get you set up. Opendorse Deals is available now for social media endorsements. All right. The Discover tab, that's the first thing that everyone's going to be able to see. That's coming in mid-November. And then we got the athlete profiles and additional integrations for online endorsements as well as offline endorsements. All of those things are coming in early 2021 as we gear up for the major rule change that's occurring in mid-2021 that will bring 500,000 plus athletes to the market. And Opendorse Monitor. Opendorse Monitor is something that, again, we have within our purview today. And what we're doing is we're outfitting it so that you, an association, an institution, a conference, a compliance officer, if you need to see the transaction activity, the details of endorsements for athletes that you manage, you govern, that are under your guidance, Opendorse Monitor is coming. It'll be available in early 2021, right? Most of you don't need it until 2021. And so many of our current partners are working alongside them to make sure that Opendorse Monitor fits exact needs that they have within their association to ensure they're following the rules of again, their institution, a conference, a division, or an entire association. All that will be contained within Opendorse Monitor. So that is when all these things are coming available. I would say that the part that is going to come, in piecemeal is going to be the value drops that come through Opendorse deals. And it's important for us to make sure that athletes are getting their profile set up to make sure that they're available and everyone knows how to get access to an athlete, how to book an endorsement deal with an athlete. And for everyone that is sitting there saying, how are they going to do this? How do they keep everyone safe and compliant? We've been doing it for nearly a decade, right? With partners with the NFLPA, MLBPA, NBPA, NHLPA, WNBPA, USNTPA, like all the associations, when they want to help their athletes understand, grow, and monetize their audience, they choose Opendorse. And so we've built this system to provide controls and protection for athletes and the organizations they play for, the governing bodies they report to, and ensure that they're monetizing their audience and making the most of their endorsement opportunities while following the rules. And it's all there. And I'm super excited about today's announcement. Opendorse Social, Opendorse Deals, Opendorse Monitor. That's the future. That's where we're at. Social is something that you can use right now, and deals, I can't wait to show you how easy it's going to be to book an endorsement deal with an athlete, and for athletes to make the most of the opportunities that are in front of you, that you work your ass off for, and super proud of that. So, Chris, I think it's time. If we got some questions, man, I'll take them. But again, thank you all for tuning in, taking 30 minutes out of your day. I want you to stick around because we got the giveaway coming up, and then I want to answer any questions that have popped up during the discussion about the future of the endorsement industry and how social, deals, and monitor are here to help the athlete of the future and the stakeholders in the endorsement industry make the most of it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Blake. There were a few individuals, I think there were 3 or 4 messages that popped up that said that the audio and video was popping in and out. Replay will be available shortly after, but we do have a few questions that have shown up in the chat window. So Blake, I think the first one comes from Angela Jones. And she says, if I'm a brand, can I reach out to any of the athletes who use Opendorse? So say I want to sponsor a golfer. What's the process for me establishing an Opendorse deal with the one and only Tiger Woods? Does the athlete have the option to opt out or actively opt in? So if you could, I know that's a multi-layered question, but I know you can just go and answer.
Yeah, certainly. So the goal here is to make athletes more accessible to the people that support them, right? And so athletes can use Opendorse right now. Most of them are invited by the team they play for, the league they play in, or a brand they already have an endorsement deal with, right? So that's how they join the system. And then from there, they're able to make themselves available to others, right? So others can use Opendorse to connect with an athlete. So as a brand, you'll be able to use the Discover to find any athlete in our network that has made themselves available to other partners, right? Some will decide that they want to stay private. They just want to, use the platform, and then a golfer like Tiger could say, no, I just want to work with the PGA Tour or TaylorMade or, any of his partners, or you can opt in to be part of that network, right? And then once they're in that network, they're able to receive requests from brands that have also been allowed into the deals platform, right? So one of the things that we understand is that it's important that athletes aren't overwhelmed or connected with entities that may be in violation of certain types of opportunities that those athletes could participate in. So it's our job to filter which brands, which businesses, which agencies are able to use Opendorse to connect directly with athletes. And at any time, an athlete can always opt out, right? They can say, hey, I don't want to receive opportunities from this entity or these types of entities. That's all going to be available within the deals platform.
That's great. A couple more questions have popped in. This one is from Kevin. What will the verification process be like for Opendorse Monitor to ensure the right people are seeing the right stuff?
Yeah. So athletes at the center of Opendorse, okay? So athletes are always the ones that are able to determine who gets visibility into a transaction that an athlete's participating in, right? So it is on the athlete and the organization that wants to see and have visibility into a transaction. It's on the athlete and that organization to have a conversation and provide that that permission to have visibility into a transaction or activity. An example of that is an athlete might sign up for Opendorse in college, right? And their institution is using Opendorse to send them photos and videos after a game. And so they've given that institution permission to see the activity because it's the relationship they have. But the minute that athlete goes pro, and this happens all the time, they might get an agent, right? And let's say it's CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb has an agent that he signs on with the minute he leaves Oklahoma. And he'd say, well, I want this agent now to have visibility, but I don't want him to have to see all of my Oklahoma stuff. I just want him to manage my relationship with EA Sports. Great. Then that's all set up within Opendorse so that that agent gets visibility into the activity that is between CeeDee Lamb and EA Sports. Right. So again, it's up to the athlete to determine who has visibility into the activities they're participating in. And Opendorse already has that functionality in terms of workflow and visibility and monitoring within the tool today. What we're doing with Opendorse Monitor is really expanding that permission set and making it a lot easier for athletes to indicate that for these types of activities, I need to make sure that this entity sees the outcome so they can protect me, help me, provide me guidance. All that's coming within Opendorse Monitor.
That's great. Quinn asked a question, and this one's going to require a little bit of enhancement on my side. So I believe I understand the question, but the question is, does Opendorse Monitor have a role beyond NIL? And I think what they're talking about is beyond sort of the collegiate, impacts related to NIL, and maybe talk about players associations, and maybe talk about, how Monitor has been, a key part of what we've done in the past and how it'll continue.
Yeah, at risk of just give them a shout out or a call out, whatnot, but there are functions of Opendorse Monitor, again, beyond NIL that are already in play today, right? So the NHL is a partner of ours, great partner. And what they're able to do is they've got a version of Opendorse Monitor that gives them visibility into the activity of between teams and NHL players, right? So they can help, assist, understand which content is being licensed to which athletes to publish on which platforms, the performance of it. So they have this view that it's not necessarily tied to transactions and endorsements only. Like it's basically within our technology, we can provide that visibility. And so the same thing that the NHL is using to see information related to transactions that necessarily they're not part of, but it matters to them. Like that is a functionality that we provide within Opendorse that isn't just tied to NIL. And so then within the pro landscape, the players associations and the Opendorse Monitor will become this one place they can go and see the activity of the players within their union, right? And that what they're doing in terms of online, offline endorsements, as well as marketing campaigns, initiatives with content distribution. So it gives visibility beyond endorsements and the specific NIL transactions. A lot of those features that we have today are being advanced, right, and enhanced into the future, so we can make sure that the NIL compliance is a major factor in Opendorse Monitor. And so we're just evolving our tools to include all the potential permissibility challenges or questions that'll come up when the NCAA changes the rules.
Yeah. And Mark asked a question specifically related to that. So with the NIL rules still being developed, how will this system keep us compliant? Right.
So as we all know, the rules aren't known, right? Like we don't know exactly what the rules are, but somebody on the planet, has to build the platform, the definitive platform that athletes can trust to keep them safe and protected, that the compliance officers and at institutional level, conference, division, NCAA level, that they can use and trust is going to provide them insights that help them make decisions based on whatever rules come their way. Somebody's got to build it. And this is my commitment, our commitment to you, the market, and to Mark specifically, and to anybody that wants to know, we're going to do it, right? Like our entire livelihood is dependent on ensuring that you have a platform that helps you protect your athletes, determine the permissibility of transactions, keep your athletes eligible, help them make the most of this window of time. But make sure that when they're using the tools, they're still following the rules. Like that's our job. So whatever the rules are, we will make sure that this technology ensures that athletes are following those rules. And we got a good idea of what we're going to be. And once they're definitive, it'll just give us a much more clear toggle on which things to turn on or off based on the rules and when they roll out.
Yeah, this is amazing seeing all of these questions come in. Some super insightful questions. Michael asked one specifically. He says, I'm interested in Opendorse Monitor. I'm interested in the Opendorse Monitor platform. Does this tool update in real time? By that, I mean when new data /info is uploaded to the model, does the tool update simultaneously, similar to how fantasy football apps update scores immediately?
Yeah. I mean, you'll see the status of deals right now. So if you've ever used Opendorse Social, and I know if anyone's out there like building campaigns, you wait to see that athlete go from notified to notified read to approved to published. Like that status is happening in real time. And that's the same thing that's going to be featured, that same technology. Like it matters, right? I think one of the cool things about Opendorse Social is that we get to work with the most creative people in sports. And they work their tails off to create some of the best content on the planet. And they're trying to give it to the most influential people in sports, which are the athletes, right? So we connect to the most creative with the most influential through Opendorse Social. And we know it matters to know, like, did the athlete see it? Did they approve it? Did they publish it? Did they download it? And so it's critical that we provide real-time insights to those creators that are working their tail off, again, to make some fantastic content that sports fans want to see. And so that same experience of knowing the status and the functions of each of these transactions is going to be critical to providing a great experience with an Opendorse Monitor. And it's something that thankfully we've been doing for nearly a decade.
That's great. I'm going to do a couple of athlete-specific questions. Matt asked a very particular question. If I'm an athlete, can I apply to work with a brand that is on Opendorse?
Yeah, so this is the opportunity board is something that we're super excited about. I know we can maybe get in some details about specifics on Opendorse deals at a later date, but the opportunity board and opportunities themselves are where athletes can pre-build a specific type of activation and seek out a sponsor for that type of activation. So making them say like, hey, I'm going to do an appearance at this date and time. I'm seeking a sponsor, right? So all of the details are built from the athlete's perspective, and then brands are able to find, search, select, and decide whether they want to be the active sponsor of that activation. So that's the opportunities board. And then the one-to-one connection, we're still determining it. I'll take you back in time. And in 2014, we introduced the reverse marketplace. This is, again, we've gone through evolutions, guys, as a company. And in that day and time, we made it so that athletes and their agents could nudge and pitch brands and say, hey, you want to do a deal? Want to do a deal? And at the time, we had a couple hundred agents and almost 1,000 athletes. And boy, they nudged every brand. I tell you what. And so we had a really interesting challenge of making sure that it was a value add for both sides, right? At the end of the day, endorsements are partnerships between both parties. And we want to make sure the experience is simple, lovable, complete, and keeps everybody coming back. And so as it comes to athletes nudging brands and saying, I want to do a deal with you, it's not as simple as saying, yeah, let's do it, right? Because we've seen what happens if you just open it all the way up. So we're making sure we're protecting that. The opportunities board is really the first thing that we think is going to make it easier for there to be some constraints or the opportunity to make these transactions easier for both sides, and we'll be evolving from there.
Well, Blake, one of the things that is kind of a mantra for us is helping athletes make the most of their moment. Mm-hmm. And Kareem asks a very specific question. If I am listed as an athlete on this, does that limit my earning potential and set a cap?
No, I mean, the thing is, athletes will be able to determine the rates of what they'll do something at. So if you think that you're worth $10,000 for a Facebook post, Instagram post, Twitter post, then put it $10,000, right? Like, I mean, and put it on there. If you think you're worth 100,000, put 100,000. Right. The thing is, there's nothing that's going to limit your earning potential other than the market. The marketplace is going to determine what is value and what is not. And so along the way, right, going back to the very first days of Opendorse, we knew it was important to at least provide some sort of estimate on the value of an athlete so they can put their pricing within the platform within a range that would make sense. And I want to give you an analogy to this. Like if you are looking to book a spot on Airbnb, right? And, you see one house right next to the other, they're the same neighborhood, and one of them is 10 times the cost of the other one. you're most likely going to see the lower price one and the same factors booked more often, right? And you also might wonder why this one's priced so high. And so it's important that we provide a similar experience to helping athletes understand you can price yourself at whatever you want, but this is the optimal level for you to price out this type of activity, this type of endorsement for you to get the most opportunities. And what we use at Opendorse to do that is 10 years of primary transaction data that is based in reality, right? So we know what athletes actually get paid for certain things, and we're going to make sure that you are as close to that so you can get as many opportunities as possible and really make the most of your moment.
That's good. Got a couple of data-specific questions here. Tyson asks, following the conclusion of a deal, speaking specifically of branded content on social, does Opendorse assist with the delivering of performance data of that deal?
I love that question, Tyson. Yes. So if you've used Opendorse Social, if you're on the sports team, league, athletic department side, and you know when a post is published through the platform, you're able to see impressions, engagements, the data that you can't see publicly because we use token access to publish on the behalf of 25,000 plus athletes and have a 1.7, 1.8 billion total followers, right? So we have a lot of data behind Opendorse. Insights are one of the things that we promise to our partners, we promise to the market. And so the shorter answer is yes. Like when if you go to Saquon Barkley's Twitter feed, last night he tweeted about Pepsi, right? And we can tell you the exact details of how many times that GIF has looped, the impressions on that post, the engagements, right? And all that's available within Opendorse as soon as those activations occur within branded content on social digital platforms.
Another good benchmarking one. For brands thinking about deals with athletes, are they able to see past engagement rates on deals with other brands? Additionally, will brands see how quote unquote booked an athlete is with deals over a period of time?
Yeah, so that's something, yes, is some, like, again, going back into insights, we know that, interesting enough, like why we go so deep into insights is for the athlete, right? Again, if you put the athlete in the center, like one of the first things we're trying to help every athlete understand is how they can understand their audience and grow their audience. So the data that we track on an athlete in terms of their engagement rate, their past impressions, reach, all that, is to help the athlete better perform so they can add more value to their partners or attract more brands and partners to come their way, right? So we have that data, and making that data available to a brand that is looking for a very specific type of athlete with a certain type of engagement, or trying to compare and really break a tie between two athletes. Sometimes past engagement rate on activity can be vital for that. And so again, at Opendorse, we track the social media posts of damn near every athlete. We got to be getting close to 100,000 plus athletes that are in our database, tracking every single post they've ever shared, which helps us better inform them on how to grow their audience, but also inform brands and sponsors on what the best day and time for this athlete is, or which athlete is the best for their brand based on the desired outcome of the campaign they're building. That's
great. We've got actually a couple of Olympic questions, one from Brant and one from the Pablo Rossetti. So does Opendorse help Olympic athletes as well? Meaning with the follow-on of Rule 40 of the Olympic Charter?
Yeah, certainly. So the highest level, we're here to help every athlete, right? From preps to pros to retirement, right? Like the experience is, we have high school athletes that use Opendorse, and we have athletes in their 80s that are still using this to share Throwback Thursday content with their fans online, right? So all athletes, all shapes and sizes, all sports can use Opendorse. We are truly, our vision is to help every athlete. We say it every Monday. And so any athlete. And then when it comes to Rule 40 specifically, it is something that we are, again, providing the tool set that ensures that the athletes are staying compliant with whatever rules govern their specific activity. And so as Rule 40 has gone through some evolutions over the last 2 years, we are making sure that the athletes that are trusting Opendorse and using Opendorse deals and monitor are staying compliant with those rules while also maximizing their opportunities. So end of the day, the answer is yes. That is something that is coming to Opendorse in 2021. It's not something that we've done in the past. Like the assumption in the past with athletes and Olympic deals is that their agent or manager or the athlete themselves are ensuring that they are compliant with Rule 40. But we do believe with Opendorse Monitor and the advent of the rules module within that we could provide additional assistance that would ensure that this is Rule 40 compliant.
Yeah, that's good. Couple of them. There's a couple of questions here. I think we'll get to. There's a lot of pricing questions. People say, "How much is this going to cost?" A couple of people saying, "Hey, as an athlete, how much does it cost me?" and things like that. I think we'll get to those in just a second. We'll close out with that and whatnot. But there was a very specific question that I wanted to ask, and these are a couple of Opendorse going beyond questions, right? Mm-hmm. So one of them was esports. I just got to scroll down to it. Basically, is Opendorse, this is Bree that asked this question, does Opendorse support esports events as far as a business that wants to get branding exposure in esports?
Got it. Yeah. So again, Opendorse Social is a great way for any organization in sports, esports, traditional sports, stick and ball, individual team sports, right, to make it easier to collaborate with the athletes in their sport and promoting the sport itself, events within the sport, helping athletes promote themselves, set up, and sponsorship promotions, ticket giveaways, fan engagement, whatever it is. Opendorse Social is there for you to use and distribute that content that can help you. And so we do have esports partners right now that use Opendorse to distribute content to their various stakeholders, whether it's other events that are, they want to make sure that events are promoting and using the same consistent content across their social channels, or that the athletes themselves are promoting events and using the same consistent content across their channels. So Opendorse is sport agnostic and athlete agnostic. If you want that athlete to say that thing at that date, that time, Opendorse Social will make that incredibly easy. Right. And as I want to give you, Chris, I'm going to dovetail into something else also within Opendorse deals, that I think this helps you envision it. If you go to an athlete's social media channel right now, a pro athlete, okay, then you're likely to see in their bio for business inquiries, and it's an email address, right? Or within Instagram, you might say like click email, and like you're able to connect with that athlete. But what they're doing is they're trying to send people somewhere to make it easier for that person that wants to work with them to book an endorsement deal or to align with them on a promotional activity, right? And the vision here is that for athletes that have agents and managers and reps, like they can stay with that, or you can envision that in the future, within the bio of any athlete, they'll have a link to their Opendorse profile, right? And that is where any brand or fan can land and understand what types of opportunities that athlete's available for, and start to build out and book an endorsement deal or book a promotion or get an appearance or get an autograph, all of that in one place. So really taking that link that is like for inquiries, contact, and replacing it with an experience that the consumer is used to, which is an e-commerce, find, search, select, and sort and pay for an endorsement deal right in one place. And so if you imagine that experience is something that an esport athlete, if they're looking not only to grow their audience, but ultimately give one place for them to help monetize it across the various types of platforms they're available on, Opendorse deals and the profile within that becomes that solution, right? So I just, across the board, no matter which sports, in the future, not every athlete's going to have a manager or a marketing rep or a publicist and somebody holding their hand, but every athlete will need to have a way to make themselves available to monetize their name, image, and likeness through a compliant tool set. Opendorse deals and the profiles within that is that solution. Again, no matter the sport, no matter the level, if they're eligible to monetize their name, image, and likeness, Opendorse deals and the profiles are the ways that athletes can prepare for and make the most of those opportunities and simplify the experience for everyone involved. And guess what? If an athlete's using Opendorse deals, everything they're doing there is communicated directly into Opendorse Monitor. So anyone that needs to see the information is able to see it in real time.
That's good. There's another, Will asked a specific question. At what point do you think Opendorse will expand beyond athletes, right, to properties like teams, events, things like that?
Great question. We get asked a lot, like why just athletes? One, you can use Opendorse Social to schedule content with anybody, anytime, anywhere, right? So the Big Ten network, if they've got every Big Ten official athletic department account throughout the conference all uses Opendorse to receive content from the Big Ten network to promote upcoming tune-in and live events, right? And so Opendorse Social, it's built for athletes, but our partners are creative. They use it in a lot of different ways, right? So that's there. But in terms of our intentionality, the focus, it's been very important to Audie and I and our entire team to really pursue our vision, which is to help every athlete. And I would say that we'll expand beyond athletes in terms of our intentions in growing the company once we've helped every athlete, right? So we got 25,000 plus right now. We're on our path to 500,000 in the next year and coming years. And once we've helped them all, then we'll consider helping others. But athletes are centerpiece of Opendorse and really important to our entire team. So that's where we stick and that's where we stay.
It's good. There's a number of other questions that have come in. A couple of you I've reached out to you and just said, hey, I'll answer those privately. Like they just wouldn't benefit the entire group. So if we did not answer your question, you definitely can reach out to me, chris.allen@opendorse.com, and I will make sure to get your question answered. I'm putting my work email out there so that you have direct access to get any questions answered.
Get them.
Blake's cell phone number is next. If you're ready, just grab a pen.
Yeah.
There's two sort of call to action questions that have come in. One is pricing structure, and then two is what to do next. How can we see a demo and things like that? So, you want to jump on the pricing real quick?
Yeah, certainly. In terms of pricing, Opendorse Social, right, is something that we make available at a very pricing tiers based on the functions and features of the tools that you need, as well as some pricing based on the size of the organization that you represent. So we know that a Division III athletic department is in a different position than a Division I Power 5 school or a global professional sports league, right? So we're making sure that Opendorse Social is available to those variable types of sports organizations at the price point that makes sense within their budget. So that's how that's priced, and you can see Opendorse Social starting at $5,000 a year and going up from there, right? One other tidbit: Opendorse is free for athletes. Opendorse Deals is free for athletes. That's how it's always been. That's how we plan for it to always be. We want to make this so that every athlete has access and the ability to use this tool absolutely free to make the most of their time and opportunity. And then within the Opendorse Monitor experience, like that is something that will come with a subscription. Right, so any organization that is looking to use Opendorse Monitor, they will have to get an annual license for access to that platform. And subscription prices are still being determined as we work together with their partners, again, to make sure that it is accessible for organizations of all shapes and sizes, from a Division III athletic department without football, again, to Division I Power 5, to players associations, leagues. And so Opendorse Monitor pricing is still being determined, and we're working together with our partners to get to that point. But again, our entire existence is dependent on our ability to help every athlete and every organization that works with athletes work together. So we will never price ourselves out of consideration within your organization, because, again, that would be counter to our goal to help every athlete as well as help those that are looking to support athletes. So pricing is to be determined on Opendorse Monitor, but we'll take a similar approach of making it accessible. Opendorse Deals, again, is free for athletes, and then access to that platform is something that there's variable levels where there's potentially versions where you're able to get access for free, and then there's transaction fees anytime that a brand or fan, a transaction that comes through the platform, and what percent of that transaction, what that number is dependent on that brand and fans' relationship with the platform. So they have a subscription, that can have an impact and lower their transaction fees and whatnot. So specific details on Opendorse Deals and pricing are going to come alongside more and more announcements as we launch different features within the tool set.
It's great. I'm just asking for a friend, but is there a way that I could ask Trevor Lawrence for an autograph in the future?
Any athlete, right? So any athlete that is eligible to receive compensation in exchange for their name, image, and likeness, they can make themselves available through Opendorse deals, and any individual or entity, so a brand or a fan, would be able to go to that athlete's profile and book any type of endorsement deal, any type of promotion, and that could include offline endorsements like an autograph. So an athlete could make themselves available. A fan could log in and say, I'll pay $100 for an autograph from this person. This is my favorite athlete. And that athlete is informed of that opportunity. They can accept it and provide the activity itself, whether it's an in-person autograph or distributing that to the fan in another type of way. Like all of that is going to be part of the experience within Opendorse, because again, someone has to do this, right? Somebody has to get the industry ready for the future. And so from a simple yes, no question, do you want to tweet? Do you want to make $1,000? To some of the more complex things of, do you want to show up and get paid to make an appearance? The experience for the athlete will be the same: simple, lovable, complete, yes or no, green button, one tap, done. The complexities of managing and ensuring permissibility and the fulfillment and execution of that, we're putting online and making sure that athletes can do all of those things through one trusted platform, right? And that is something that when you put the athlete in the center and you say, how can we help them? It can drive you to do some great things. And I think that's where our team is, and this technology evolution is right in front of us. And our partners in the industry that have helped us get there, like without you, we're nothing, right? And so again, if this doesn't fit what you need or want within your organization, tell us, because our future depends on ensuring that this industry has the infrastructure it needs to survive the complexity that's going to come when it goes from 5,000 athletes to more than 500,000 next year.
It's awesome. Yeah, and if you'd like to get a demo or if you'd like to get a sneak peek with any of these things, just go to opendorse.com, and you can see at the very top there'll be there's a button that says book a demo, and that's a very easy way to get connected with our team so that you can actually see some of that. But Blake, I have to say there is somebody who has been selected to win to win the cool prize. Do you want to announce who that is? You want me to Slack that to you real quick?
Yeah, Slack it. Let me see. As long as it's not my fiance, that's good. Oh, how about that? I know this.
So hold on, let me pull this up.
Yeah. So the giveaway. Hey, and let's do the giveaway. Then I'll send my thanks and appreciation. All right. So who is going to win the giveaway? The winner of the Whoop Band 1-year membership Alexa Smart Mat Body Boss portable home gym is Boyd Over. Oh, Boyd Ober. BOYDOBER. Boyd Ober. You are the winner of today's giveaways. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support of Opendorse. And I'm sure that there's more questions that you may have or want to learn more, but you are the winner, and you'll be getting the Whoop Band 1-year membership, Alexa Smart Mat, Body Boss, all that. And we'll be in touch with you directly to get that sent your way. But for all those that tuned in, this means a hell of a lot that you take time out of your day, that you would love or trust or want to learn more about Opendorse. I can't tell you how much it means to myself, our team, our growing team at Opendorse, and what started as a solution to help a friend is now being used by 25,000 plus athletes around the planet and some of the most forward-thinking organizations and people in sports. So as we grow through this next phase, we look forward to more and more support, and we look to provide more and more support to you as well. Questions, concerns, anything that you need to know about Opendorse, our future, or Opendorse as it is today, opendorse.com. We're there. Fill out the contact form, hit get a demo, email Chris, his email me. We're here to help. But thank you all for tuning in. It means a heck of a lot to us, and looking forward to showing you the future of Opendorse as we roll out more and more features.